Hello, Holy Cross community. This is Father Gerasimos once again. Very happy always to be with you as I'm here in southern Texas between Fort Stockton and Marathon for 80 miles. Nothing to be seen around here. And for a New Yorker, this is something really, really peculiar and weird to us, as we're so used to seeing an area like this filled with millions of people and buildings and so forth. And I'm reaching out to you today for two things. Number one, as I stand here and in this harshness of an area where there's nobody around, and I was thinking about all the monastics, the ones who decided to live out of the deserts, but especially those who were hermits, like St. Kyriakos that we celebrated a few days ago, but starting from St. John the Baptist, and even women like St. Mary of Egypt, who decided to live in the desert and to be in this harsh, very harsh environment. As you can see, there's nothing here. I hear some crickets in the background, but there's hardly any life, even though there's many life of the plants and so forth. And my good people, that these people chose to be here away from everything so that they could be closer to God. You know, it sounds very romantic, but I can imagine being here when it's like 90 degrees, 95 degrees, and then very cold at night. And a few feet from me is my car. Yes, I'm not stranded here. So a few feet from me is my car, that with all the luxuries of even a car, of this air condition and the ease of all the devices that could be attached to it. My good people, yesterday was a clear day, and at nighttime the sky that we see above was filled with thousands, if not millions, of stars. And I was thinking that so many people who love nature come out to these so-called dark places so they can see the stars. These are the same stars can be found in New York City, and yet we can hardly see any of the stars, maybe one or two, because of all the lights that we have produced as human beings. And the same way, the stars are there, but we cannot see them in the city. The same way, God is up there in heavens, and yet we cannot see him because we are preoccupied with the worldly lights. So my good people, waiting for the car to pass by, my good people, the saints decided to come to the desert so that they may find the true God who is in the skies, so they can clear themselves out from the passions, both the interior passions and the sounds of the exterior world, and discover God and see God in these places like this. The second point and last point is, as you see the road that reaches out for miles behind me, as I said, there's nothing here. There's no other road. There's no side streets. There's no spurs or other farmlands, as you can see very clearly. There's only one road, one way. And if I go off the road, then I'll be in trouble. And I will be really in trouble. But by going on this road, I will reach my destination. You know, Jesus Christ says, I am the way. He is the path. He is the road. Εγώ είμαι η οδός. And, you know, it's so clear here. Again, so clear. There's only one road that leads to the next destination. And for us is to God, the Father, and to his kingdom. And yet, again, think about the city, how many different roads there are, and how much we can get confused with multiple roads. But there's only one road, and we're called to follow that road that leads to Jesus Christ. The early Christians would ask each other, do you know the way? That was their code name, to say the way of salvation, and that way is Jesus Christ. So signing off on this one road that leads from Fort Stockton to Marathon, Texas, in this middle of this wilderness, remember the monks and nuns who lived in the wilderness. Remember Jesus Christ, who is the way to the Father and to the kingdom. Amen.